Hey guys, today I want to talk about Greymane, particularly 4 common mistakes that I keep seeing on Greymane, as well as some really strange mentalities that I see a lot. So the first thing that I want to explain about Greymane is that his ultimate abilities, both of them are very good, but Cursed Bullet's win rate is very low. And the reason that it's really low is I feel that a lot of people are picking it at the wrong times and they're using it incorrectly. So firstly, when should you pick Cursed Bullet? A lot of people say, oh, well, it kills tanks, let's pick it with tanks. But it's a 30-second cooldown. You can only use it against one of their 2 tanks. Which means you Cursed Bullet one tank, he walks away, the other tank walks in and he's their front line. The tank that walked away gets healed, everything's reset, right? It was a waste. But against a solo tank, I want to show you how effective it could be if, say, for example, ETC is their only tank. And he's their front line, and he's trying to play aggressive, getting ready for an ability. Just watch how much damage I can do to ETC really quick. Boom. He doesn't want to stay in the front line anymore, you know? Like, it doesn't take very much to get a frontline tank to leave the fight. Just because with Cursed Bullet and doing the combo correctly, he loses almost all of his health. So if he was the solo tank, and he had like a Stukov or a Mouth that could only heal him in like healing over time in small bursts, they just lost their main tank. So I recommend people picking Cursed Bullet into scenarios where there's only a single tank. The other reason why its win rate's low is because people aren't doing the combo correctly. And the combo is what allows you to win in lower ranks because no one expects this damage. You see how much damage I do to a tank? Imagine that on like a Falstad or a, I don't know, any like assassin. Usually, as the game goes on, that combo can effectively 100% to zero someone if you do it correctly. Meaning, if you're laning against someone and they play a little too aggressive in like silver or gold rank, you can immediately drop them. So the way that the combo works is it's effectively using R first, then Q, and then E, and then Q again. While you have your W on, you can usually get 2 auto attacks off in wolf form before the fight goes off. So effectively, this is what it looks like against an individual person. And you can usually get 2 to 3 auto attacks off. Against that dummy, that was 3,400 damage, but you got to remember dummies have like a stupid amount of health. So let's do this combo without the Cursed Bullet. So let me toggle cooldowns really quick. And this is what the combo looks like without Cursed Bullet. It still is a lot of damage. So it's about 1,800 damage. That's 66% of my health without Cursed Bullet, meaning if I was to use Cursed Bullet first, I would be doing, well, that's nice, thanks. So I would be doing 35% of their health and then 66% of their health. So all in all, at level 11, with 3 auto attacks included, against an enemy Greymane, I could do 100 and what, I don't know, 100 and like 5% or something. I'm actually making this video a little late, so you guys can do the math in the comments. What is 66% plus 35%? Go for it. Yeah, so if you're not using Cursed Bullet to its full potential and you're picking it at wrong times, you're the reason that it has a low win rate. But it's actually a very strong ability. Now, I'm not saying don't ever pick the other one. The other one's a very strong ability as well, but I just find that's a mistake for when people are picking Cursed Bullet. It's usually at the wrong times. So those are the first 2 things that I want to explain, the first 2 common mistakes that I see on Greymane. The next mistake that I see is people are commonly going into wolf form way too early. Let me refresh the forts really quick, and I want to show you the power of never going into wolf form. The first thing is, the reason you don't want to is because of Inner Beast. It increases your attack speed, and it's hard to keep this up when you're in wolf form because people just walk away from you. But if you're not in wolf form, you can use stutter stepping to always stay in a position to where you're getting auto attacks off on the enemy over and over and over. And you can see how much damage I'm doing to this ETC. I'm just destroying him. And I can keep this W going on for a long time because it's easy. If I kill something, I don't need to get too close. I can simply just auto attack and walk away, right? Which makes it very, very good. And watch the cooldown of this. 7 seconds. It's a 20-second ability or 20-second cooldown. So as long as you're getting damage off with auto attacks, you don't ever need to go into wolf form. I'm still doing a ton of damage with auto attacks even without W or anything else. So stutter step and get auto attacks off in human form as long as possible. This also keeps you in a safer position because if he was to dive in against me while I'm auto attacking him, he would get all the way into my team. But if I was to dive into him, I'm into his team. So you don't want to, and again, it's hard to keep up with getting auto attacks off in your W because it'll run out as you're chasing after them. Now, you can stay in wolf form a little bit longer when you get on the prowl, which increases your movement speed, but it only increases your movement speed once for 3 seconds, which means that, again, if you're in wolf form for more than 3 seconds, you're likely going to use your W, or lose your W, and you're also going to lose out on a lot of damage, and you're going to be in the team dying. So if you find yourself with a lot of deaths on Greymane, you're already playing him incorrectly. You want to make sure that you stay in wolf form and get auto attacks off for the longest amount of time possible. And there's a point in, I do a coaching for a Greymane game. It's already on my YouTube somewhere. And effectively with that, I keep telling him, I say, hey, like you keep using your wolf form too early and you're dying, and you could get so much more damage off on a fight before you actually jump in. So I usually don't jump in until they're really low health, something like this, and then I use it as a gap closer and quickly do damage. So those are the main mistakes that I keep seeing over and over and over when it comes to Greymane. Now I have 2 bonus ones. Let me go into the bonus ones by changing the enemy hero to, I don't know, nobody. And I want to share with you a little bit on how to do Waveclear with Greymane, which I keep seeing people do incorrectly. So the way that you're supposed to do Waveclear, let me refresh the forts maybe. No. Yeah, let me refresh the forts. Now this is going to bring ETC back because of a dumb bug that's going on. So let me select the hero and change it to like, I don't know, let's go Ana, someone who's not going to be a threat to me. Now, the way you do Waveclear is you Q a frontline minion, and then you use your E to any minion, you Q, which hits all of them, and then 1 auto attack, guys. 1 auto attack's all it takes to clear the rest of the minions. Now, early game, your Q doesn't do enough damage to kill the backline minions with 1 Q and 1 auto attack. So what you'll need to do is you'll need to Q first. Let me refresh the forts, and let me change the level to 1 really quick. And I want to show you guys how to Waveclear correctly. So this is what it's going to look like. You're going to Q the front line. You're going to E. You're going to use Q. You're going to auto attack once. Auto attack. Oh, really? Auto attack once. Auto attack once. And you're going to Q back through. And it's usually enough. Sometimes it's not level 1, but level 2. It's usually enough to kill everything. Yeah, let me do level 2 really quick. If you're level 1, you have to do it a little bit differently. But let's do level 2, which is going to be more common that you're going to be level 2. And I'll show you it works at level 2. I promise. I promise, guys. I promise it works. Alright, so you auto-attack each of them, and then your Q's back off cooldown, and boom, you kill all of them. So, just to recap, how you clear the wave is you use your Q on a frontline minion, you E on any of the minions, it doesn't really matter. Then you Q, when you're in Worgen form, to all of the ranged minions. You attack each of the ranged minions once, which gives you time to get your Q back off cooldown, and you Q back through the wave, and it clears the wave. Once again, I'm going to show you what it looks like right here. Q, E, Q, auto, 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 Q's off cooldown, kill everything. He has very fast wave clear, and people do not use it as they should. The next thing, and again, another small micro tip, something that the Greymane mains know that they're supposed to do, but when you pick Greymane in higher ranking, people assume you're going to do camps. And the reason people are going to assume you do camps is because with W and Q in Worgen form, you can clear camps very quickly. I'm going to show you a little bit on how fast you can do it. So I'm going to set a time really quick. We're at 45. And try to get your Q to hit both enemies. And you can also use your Q to dodge the attacks here and there. And you can also make sure that you're getting more value off of your Q by spreading the damage between the two. But in this particular case, I'm just going to auto-attack. And I took way more damage than I had to. But I did that camp in about 21 seconds. So it's pretty valuable. And these camps right here, you can dodge all the damage. I didn't dodge all the damage. I was kind of an idiot. But I was also watching the timer. So in my defense, I was trying to watch the timer on the side. But yeah, you can take 0 damage. So on Greymane, and that's early. Late game, when you start getting your abilities doing more, you can do camps in like 7 seconds on Greymane, which makes him one of the faster people to do camps. You can also do the other camp. Early game, it's going to be a little rough for me to show you how to do it. Late game, it's much easier. So I'm going to grab a fountain early game. And you always want to kill off this ranged minion first. And you can reposition so that there's always one minion who can't attack you. Do you see how I'm positioning to where one of the minions can't attack? That's the best bet, so you take less damage. And you have to position on one side so that the other minion is constantly moving between the two. So that's an option that you can do, but early game it's very rough to take one of these. You lose most of your health. So I wouldn't recommend doing this. Actually, I'm going to die here. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend doing this too early on. And if you do it, you need to make sure to grab a fountain before you do it. But usually what I recommend is about level 7. You can safely do the larger camps, but you will still lose about 60 to 80% of your health. But early game, just utilizing these camps is very important. And that is why Greymane is picked in a lot of higher rank, is because he can do camps very quickly. He does a lot of damage in fights. And the reason that he has low win rates is because people keep jumping in way too early. And a lot of people call this Greymane disease or Greymane curse or whatever, because people will play Greymane and they'll feel like they need to jump in. And this is the mistake that commonly happens. People go like this, jump in, and then they're like chasing after the person, trying to get another auto attack off, and they're not getting their auto attacks and getting their W going if the enemies are running away. This is a bot, so they're not running away. And you just get low in general, and you get in the middle of the enemy team. So it's so wasted, when in reality, if you just stayed in human form, you'd be able to get off just as much damage. It just takes a little bit longer, but it's a lot safer. So you could be doing damage for a lot longer in fights. So overall, that is the 4 mistakes that people commonly make on Greymane, with a couple bonuses. Let me know in the comments below the next hero that you'd like to see the 4 mistakes been done on, and as well as any other things that you'd like to add for Greymane. He's a complex hero that is played a lot in pro games, a lot in master games, but his win rate tends to be really low in both, and my feeling on it is because people keep making a lot of simple mistakes. Thank you very much for watching, and feel free to check out the rest of the videos on the channel.